Welcome to the Brutiful Game. As always, I am very red here. It is Blake with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
Oh, it's a good week to talk. Whatever happens, London's red, so I'm happy. On tonight's Brutiful Game, as we're going to discuss that big London derby, or the North London derby, to be specific, as they stay neck and neck in the race for the Premier League title, the old Arsenal. And speaking of Premier League title, Man City won their match this weekend, but Liverpool draw theirs, losing more points in the race with two above them. It's a clop. What is it? Deflating like a flan in a cupboard at the end here.
It's a darn shame.
There it is. Then, of course, we're going to go over the rest of the Premier League action news for match week 35 in our 2-minute drill. And then we're going to blow the halftime whistle as the scootering stork of DC and the metro riding Man United maniac of the monuments, Ferris, as he shares with us his vacation traveling exports or of his trip to Washington, D.C., which included 2 soccer matches at Audi Field, meeting the Man United DC supporters and knocking 5 breweries off the ye old DC brewery list. Finally, we're going to close out the pod with the La Liga's Roundup, as Ferris goes over a quick update on the European leagues as another winner has been decided. And then he'll close us out with the Champions League semifinals. First leg update that just took place over this week. But first up, we got the beer. Ron, I believe. Nope, Ferris, that was you. We talked about this right before we hit record. I already forgot. I already forgot. I know I'm second. Was it you, Ferris?
There you go. I was first. We literally, like, right before we hit record, we agreed on this.
Oh, I'm so glad we
It was a bit of a Three Stooges routine, but we got it. We hit record, and that all went out the window.
Gone.
All right.
1, 2, 3, go. So on 4? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you're second. So after I go, Blake, that means you go. And then Ron, hey, we're only 3 of us on the pod. You're the third. All right.
Wait, I'm number 3?
Yes, you're
Number
3.
Oh,
yes.
I thought I was number 2.
Yeah, you know what? We sound as bad as any committee trying to duel out point deductions for teams. Wait, hold on. How many points you giving out? We can give out 4. No, we can give out 2. No, okay, you'll give out 6 this time. Oh hell, no, we'll give out 10. Then we'll drop it down to 6. All right. Anyways, I'm sure we'll get there in a little bit. I have a beer. Don't worry, Ron. I have a 6-pack, so I will bring some over the next time I see you. But a beer from DC, from a lovely brewery that I stopped probably day 2 on, actually the day of the Pride match. I stopped at a brewery called Right Proper Brewing Company in the DC area. They have a couple of different tap rooms and brew pubs. I was at the Shaw Brew Pub and Kitchen. You can head over to rightproperbrewing.com. And I have Raised by Wolves. So I'm trying to get the can out here, but it's a dry hop pale ale. So it's not quite an Indian pale ale nor an American pale ale. We brewed Raised by Wolves to highlight the rich flavors and aromas of hops rather than bitterness. This beer has aromas reminiscent of lush tropical citrus and stone fruits with a juicy body you can sink your teeth into. 5% on the old ABV. Citra, Comet, and Simcoe hops, all awesome hops. Yeast, brewer's yeast, from fermentation vessel, gentlemen. Stainless steel conical. And available year-round, draft cans in restaurants and retail stores, DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
I don't know what other thing they would have fermented it in.
There's what's the one that Deadwood used to use? That old kind of wine-looking thingy.
Oh, that was a clay fermenter from, like, Sumerian beers.
Right. So I guess they could have done that. But anyways, here's the can, nice and green, Raised by Wolves. So I walked in, it was in the afternoon, and just the bartender there at the time, a few more came in later. He said he just got hit, and I said, okay, whatever beer you suggest. He goes, if you're gonna do the first beer, it has to be this one. And man, it's fantastic. It is a great pale ale. Gives you a little bit of that IPA vibe just because of the hops there, but nowhere near. So have it. But shout out to that bartender, Pat. He was a Chelsea fan, by the way, Ron.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, he was good. We just talked the game for a while. Had come up that I worked at a brewery, and something that just kind of people that work at breweries do sometimes is next thing you know, he's pouring me a beer shot. We do a beer shot. We did a beer shot of a sour they had on. Whew, it was real good. He said, I don't know how people, usually like sour. And I said, well, the other Chelsea fan on the pod would not have done this beer shot with you, but I sure as hell was. We did a few beer shots. Then he kind of won my heart over because the next beer, I said, just pour me up whatever your next favorite is. It was probably this beer called Senate beer. It's from an old recipe from many years ago. But he goes, I like it with a lime. So he put a lime on it because it's a light lager. And I was like, you won me. I love a good light lager with a lime. But shout out to Pat. On their site, real quick, it's cool. Not only do they have our people, the teamwork that makes the dream work, they're two owners, their husband and wife, one owner-operator of the Shaw Brew Pub, the other owner-operator of the Brooklyn Production House. And they have a shout-out to the production manager, their head brewer at each, their taproom managers at each. And then they have our artist, because their artwork in there was really cool. So they have, not going to butcher this name, hopefully, Nico Armatuega, was born and raised in Bogota, Colombia. He's lived and worked in the United States since 1990. His artwork, History of Beer, painting at the maps and wood, the Shaw Brew Pub that I was at, looked awesome, especially homage to Duke Ellington. And then Raised by Wolves mural, the beer that I'm having was actually at the Brooklyn one that I just haven't had. And then Patrick Owens is a DC artist specializing in murals and chalk arts and illustrations. He drew one that I was enamored by. And I took a picture, and I'll have to send it to you here in the thing, and I'll put it online. He's responsible for a large charcoal mural that became a focal point of the Shaw Brew Pub. And I kept my eyes on it. I took a picture of it because it was so awesome, featuring futuristic animals having a battle royale in the city. At our Brooklyn production house, Patrick's murals line the entirety of the tasting room interior, telling the story of animals breaking out of a zoo, killing and destroying humans, and learning to do human things. While not the most appropriate for children, the Where's Waldo-like scene takes time of a few beers to fully appreciate the glory. But Patrick, well done, dude, on this. Or I'll have to put it online. I'll send it to you here in a second, gents. And then a couple more artists to shout them out. Kelly Tolles is a leading DC artist, and Kate DeCecco and Rose Jaffe, both muralists on Arts and Humanity in the DC area. So kind of a cool thing to have on their site that you don't always see. But darn good brewery, good staff. I got a couple of stickers as well that I'm gonna pass one off to you, Ron, that he threw in there when I took the beer home. So excited to have this again, and it's a darn good beer.
Well, gents, that's over to me. We are recording this the year of our Lord 2024 on May 1st, which means some of you might even be listening to this on the the high holy holiday of May the 4th. So I have picked a beer that is appropriate from New England Brewing Company, that I had on before, Fuzzy Baby Ducks. I don't know if you guys remembering when I did that one, where it looks like the unicorn's pooping out a rainbow, the ducks are sliding down it. Delicious New England IPA. Well, here I have dun 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 the Imperial Stout Trooper, which is a stormtrooper on the can wearing like the little fake rubber nose with the mustache and sunglasses and the fuzzy eyebrows.
Groucho Marx.
Yeah, totally Groucho Marx. As it says, the Imperial Stout Trooper, brewed in a brewery not too far away and not too long ago. Imperial Stout Trooper is a full-bodied stout with a majestic blend of many malts and hops. Drink it. It's good. Brewed in Woodbridge, Connecticut. I was trying to find the ABV on this bad boy. 9.5% ABV in this 12-ounce can, gentlemen. If I grab a second one for the second half of the pod, you will know it.
Heck yeah.
I'm very excited for this guy. My wife cracked one and poured it before I came in here, and it looks like engine oil. It's so dark.
Do you know, Blake, you're going to be jealous. You know what I just pre-ordered, and Ron, you can do it too. Blake, you might even be able to do it, and Ron can pick it up for you. You can pre-order a Marta bobblehead as Ray.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I might have to do that.
And
isn't there one for Janssen too?
There is.
He's the Mandalorian,
his isn't available
right?
for pre-sale, so I think you have to get it there. And his is of the Mandalorian.
Right.
So yeah, if you pre-order the Pride one now, Blake, just let me know. I'll be at the game on Sunday, and it awesome.
Oh, that's
awesome
rad.
Looking bobblehead.
Yeah, I would love to go to this brewery on May the 4th because they are going to do a special. They've aged for a couple of years one of their older Imperial Stouts in Stout Troopers in bourbon barrels, and they're going to have it on a tasting on May the 4th.
Nice. Well, I have a beer fridge clean out beer.
Okay.
I didn't do anything crazy. We have family in town, so it's been a mad scramble. You guys know how it is here in Orlando, where you get family in town and you're, going here, running there, doing this,
playing the theme park game.
Got to go to the park. Yep.
So the last North Carolina beer that I have in my fridge from the North Carolina Exploits from Banner Elk Brewing Company. Or sorry, it used to be Banner Elk Brewing Company. It's now Kettle Beer Works. I have their Roll Cast Kolsch style ale, named Roll Cast after the fly fishing cast for all of the fly fishermen who listen to us.
Welcome to the pod.
So glad to have you. Our cross section covers that perfectly. The Venn diagram.
Grandma and fly fishermen.
Yep.
That's what the Brutiful game does.
Yep. Good old Rollcast Kolsch style ale. It is a 5.5 ABV, traditional muted fruit character with clean finish, crisp and refreshing. We've had these guys on the pod before, but if you go to kettlebeerworks.com, they have a pretty cool thing about all their beer. All of our beer is brewed on site using the highest quality ingredients and clean, fresh mountain water. Our brew house, we carefully create all our beers on a 20-barrel steam-driven system. The brew house, which is available through the large window in the tap room, tours are available. They're friendly, family friendly. Pets are welcome. What a great little spot there. You can see Grandfather Mountain from there. It's quite a nice little spot. So that's what I got.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
All right. I think I'm ready to try this bad boy. I brought in a paper towel because this was very carbonated when my wife tried to crack it open. So we'll see what happens.
Just pour it over the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Oh, nope. Glad I did that.
A little full. Lots of sap.
You might say this beer comes out forcefully.
I see what you did there.
I don't get it.
You see what happens in Star Wars.
Easy. I got it.
There's an energy field that binds us and penetrates us.
You keep your penetration to yourself.
It's not that kind of pod, Blake. Listen, we're grandmas and fly fishermen. There ain't no penetration going on here.
Oh man, this reminds me of the Harvesting engine oil. This is dark. You know, like a stout that's so dark that when you have just a drop of it, it almost looks red, like a cherry cola. Do you know what I mean? It's got that reddish, like.
I just wanted to yell, "How dark is it?"
Check that bad boy out.
Looks good.
Wonderful.
In a duck rabbit glass?
Yeah. Well, you know, Duck
Good
Rabbit,
call.
they make those dark beers. I thought this would be a delicious little snifter to have.
Good
it out
call.
of. The head
Best
retention.
pour, but by me there, but a little bit too much head, but looking good.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
now
this smells. I haven't had a good stout in a while. This smells awesome. Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get you some.
If you say so.
All right, gents.
Cilantro, boys.
May the 4th be with you. Cheers.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh, bud. If you like Rasputin, like Imperial Stout, this is delicious. This 9.5%, you don't taste that alcohol at all. This is smooth stout. Oh, nice. My God.
This is pretty much the epitome of the style for a Kolsch style beer, although I will say it is a bit fruitier than I'm used to in a Kolsch, but it is quite tasty. It's like a little bit of splash of fruit juice in there. Interesting, but tasty.
Listen, I love the beer in the tap room. Did well on the travel. This is it. I was telling him. I said, "Listen, we were just talking about working in a brewery and that sort of thing." I said, "Listen, I respect and I love a good brewery that the names of the beer match the style. So if they call it a dry hop pale ale, boom, that's what you're getting. You're not getting anything different. You're not getting, well, maybe it's a lager, maybe it's an IPA. No, you're getting exactly what it is.
You sound
so
like
smooth.
Dennis Leary. I want coffee flavored coffee.
Hey, listen, it's true sometimes though. when especially with like a sour beer, which Ron, I know you're not the biggest fan of, but when they say this, and this, if you don't taste it, you're like, what in the heck is this?
See, the guy was like, that's a very specific compliment you gave me. And you said, well, see, I've had this stuff from Butternut. And he went, nope, say no more. I know exactly why you feel that way. Homie knew what was up. Oh, man. I'm sending you guys my little pictures with my official 1980 Yoda hand puppet that I've posed with my beer.
You know what we should do? One of these times, we need to do a photo contest. We need to take our beer pictures. What?
No, Ron always will win this.
Exactly. That's my thought exactly, Blake.
You guys are no fun. But see, here's the thing. We don't tell the audience on the website or the social media whose picture is whose.
Okay.
But
right?
Okay, but
it's a blind taste test, if you will.
Right, but we have to put it out. Like, we all have to be doing what we're doing right now, recording from 3 different areas. And we all have to put it out prior to the pods. If somebody listens to it and go, oh,
sure, yeah. You don't want to, like, in your house or in your studio to give away, like, any, like, you ain't giving it away. You got to do it somewhere where they might not pick up who that might be. Yeah.
Right.
And then we let the audience decide who has the better picture. I think that'd just be fun.
Like a plain black background, props available to use, no more than 2 props. Like, we got to set some standards here.
Why are you limiting things? Just have a good time.
Yeah,
take some pictures.
Just have a good time, man.
Listen, that's what they said about VAR, and look where we're at with that. So come on.
What are you talking about? It's glorious and accurate.
Listen,
right?
Nobody knows what a handball is, and good luck if you can tell me what's offside and what's not. So
I
got to
think
make some ground rules for the picture.
You're slightly overcomplicating our picture voting on social media here, bud.
You know what VAR could use?
I'm just trying to, like, notch it into my favor a little here.
VAR could use Yoda. Yoda would get that right.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Good shout there, Blake.
What ref would Yoda be? We got to do, like, what manager would Yoda be?
We have to think about that.
Is it like Scottish, like Yoda, Sean Dyche? Like who?
No, Sean Dyche gets too worked up.
Yeah,
Unai, because you never see him get worked up.
Oh yeah, I like that. Arteta's like Anakin, right? He's Anakin. He's gonna go bad at some point. I love it.
Yes,
he's gonna go bad. He's gonna go bad. Like,
it's a good shout.
Yeah,
he's gonna snap and kill all the villagers.
It's gonna go over. It's like Jose Mourinho. He's gone there. He's Darth Vader. I don't think he's the Emperor. I think maybe.
Oh, he might be the Emperor.
He might be.
He might. Who else
is the Emperor?
Who else is worse?
Sean Dyche could be Obi-Wan.
Oh, maybe Han Solo. That's Klopp, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
God,
That's
I
a good
hate
shout
shout.
there.
I
That's
hate
a really
to
good
say
shout
it,
there. Damn
but
it.
it's as soon as it came out, I was like, damn, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's a good shout there, Blake.
Yeah, you can just see it. Who's
Maybe Carlo Ancelotti as Obi-Wan.
is Big Sam Chewbacca? I mean, I know he's not managing right now, but like,
Actually, no, that might
Or
be Sean Dyche.
LVG.
LVG. Actually, that's what it is. Carlo Ancelotti is Obi-Wan. Chewbacca is Dyche. Han Solo is Cloth.
I love that. Is
And
Eddie
then who
Howe
was-
Luke
and then who
Skywalker?
was the Chelsea Izio again?
Yeah, she's Leia, right? Who's
Oh.
your
Yeah.
Ava Carnero.
Yeah, Ava
Oh.
Canero. Yep.
Yep.
That is
She's
a
Leia.
Beautiful shout, my friend.
Who's Luke though?
Eddie Howe.
Oh,
That's great shout.
classic.
Great shout.
Yeah, especially if we
Good
want to go
one.
like first getting into Premier League a few years
Yep.
ago. Eddie Howe.
Yep.
That's he's totally Luke.
I think Ten Hog's like an emperor, or not an emperor, but like one of like the commanders of the stormtroopers, nice and bold and clean head.
Yeah.
And just never really smiles.
Exactly. He's back there, got the little hat on, you
Yep,
know,
yep,
and at
yep.
some point he loses horribly and Darth Vader chokes him out. I mean, let's just
Yes,
be honest.
yes.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
he's that guy that Darth Vader chokes out when he's like, "Your old ways are no more."
well, sir, we have advanced in the FA Cup. Oh, brr. I find your lack of ability to beat the rebels from Coventry sufficient.
I'm telling you right now. On May the 4th, we got to put this on Twitter, and I challenge anybody to come up with a better lineup than what we just came up on the fly right here.
That's quite good. I think we should totally do that. That's fun.
We're gonna have to re-listen to the pod, remember what the hell we chose, but we have a good lineup.
No, I think that's a pretty good lineup. We covered everybody, right? We got Han, we got Leia, we got Luke.
Yeah, we got everybody. We got all the main
Yeah.
players from the first.
You're right. I know he's not in the Premier League, but Jose that's the Emperor.
But he had so much time in the Premier League.
You know why he's the Emperor?
I think I'm the special one. Like he has it, man.
And
That's
he's
nailed on for
been
him.
gone from the Premier League, came back. He's gone
Yeah.
again, but still hovers over it. People expect him to come back. So
Yeah.
yeah, totally. He's there. Yeah, he's totally there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's absolutely. Who's C3PO?
Oh, good shout.
I feel like there's got to be someone that's like,
Oh man.
do we have a more like upper crust manager currently?
Man, I can see his face, and I can't remember his name.
All right, hold on. Who did we have as? Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Who did we have
Han
as?
was Klopp. Luke was Eddie Howe. We had Ava Canera as Leia.
Leia? Right. Who was Obi-Wan again?
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti.
Okay, so how about we change that to Pep? Right. So we make them all Premier League. So we change.
Yeah, I like
Obi-Wan to Pep.
Oh, then that makes sense that Arteta is Anakin. Oh my God, that's even better.
Right. Right.
Oh, that's
right.
even
And
more
then-
perfect
but
now.
C3, C3PO and R2D2. Ooh. Maybe Emery is C3PO.
I that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, I could kind
Ooh,
of
but
see
then
Emery.
Sorry,
Unai Emery, so proper.
yeah. He
didn't
could be
we just
C3PO.
name him? Didn't I just name him somebody?
No, we changed it. We changed it for somebody. I don't remember who. See, we're gonna have to listen back to this. But who's C3PO? Or not? Who's R2?
Maybe that's Sean Dyche. I mean, he's like a foul mouthed
he's
little droid.
Chewbacca.
You know,
He's
he's
Chewbacca,
Chewbacca.
all the way.
Yeah.
And him and Chloe up together. That's a
That's
match
true.
made in heaven.
That's true.
Is David Moyes C-3PO?
Scottish
I
C3PO.
Could be knew the ways of Everton. I don't know.
Been
I don't
around,
know. We're
seen
gonna
them all. I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
That's a good shout too.
Or
That's not a that's
Technically,
not a bad shout.
3PO. He's been in all the movies, right? All 9 of them.
Yep. Oh wait, hold on. I got it. Roy Hodgson.
Oh, yeah.
Lovable, always likable no matter where he goes. Just a guide to everybody in the game.
But see,
That's
does that make
Roy.
him more R2D2 then? 3PO's can be a little annoying.
No, because Roy's a little lively. He's a little spry for a 70-year-old. He's kicking the ball around in training. I think proper is definitely Emery. And then he has to be C3PO.
I did not anticipate that hop down hyperspace lane, but I'm glad we did it. It made me very happy.
Chris Wilder. He should be
no. He's
our-
Luke's dad, Ben.
Or, the uncle Ben.
Uncle
Owen.
Or
No, that's
Uncle-
Uncle Ben in Spider-Man,
Owen,
right?
Owen,
Yeah. Uncle Owen.
Whatever.
Yeah. I love it.
I have one more. I think
Okay.
that's quite perfect. Is it Red number 5, who is the guy who's always like, they're right on me, they're right on me?
Red 5 is Luke. He's the last.
Who's the guy that dies in the giant fireball?
It's his. There's a couple. So there's his friend. So there's Wedge that doesn't die, who gets shot and flies out. And then Han saves the day of the Death Star. There's Biggs, his friend Biggs Darklighter, is the one who like pull out.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an easy one, in my opinion. That's Pochettino. Crashes and burns everywhere.
Okay. Do you guys remember the Star Wars character Porkins, who flew a spaceship?
Can't say that I do.
You don't see. All right, this is derailed, but I don't even care. I'm sending his picture right now. You're gonna be like, you are lying, Blake. They did not name that character Porkins, and you know what?
He's got the red beard, doesn't he?
They abso-friggin-lutely did. And
we're already half an hour in, and we haven't even started talking. So we're supposed to be done with the
just
first
wait.
topic now.
So this guy, he blows up too, but that's Porkins.
You just send
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah. He
Yep.
also plays
That-
like Eckhart in Batman with Michael Keaton.
That
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah. So, oh my yes.
That's Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, there you go. Big
Jack
Sam.
Porkins. Man, Lucas was not nice with some of these names. Oh, God, this just made me so happy. I guess we should talk about actual football now. Hey, speaking of
We just were.
speaking
It's
of
May the
red,
4th, so
hey,
let's do
exactly. And not only that, Ron, you set it up. Red 5. I got my little Lego Red 5 X-wing sitting right over here. Luke's armada, his wing of the Rogue Squadron. Well, London is red. Speaking of red, boom. And
Good segue. We're
Yeah.
back.
Oh, I didn't give you time for your Roy Hudson quote, though, to kick us off.
Sure. So during the match today, the Dortmund versus PSG match, which we will be talking about toward the end of the pod, our beloved commentator was on there. And while I was at work doing a bunch of crazy stuff, I had an ear to the audio of the match so I could listen to his fabulous quotes. And while I wrote down several of them, like, he's off like a scalded cat, or he's as slippery as an eel covered in Vaseline.
That's a good one.
The best one came from a open goal miss by Jay Brandt on
Julian Brandt.
What's that?
Julian Brandt.
He missed a sitter in an open net. And our beloved commentator said the following words: "It's a garlic milkshake of a finish since he missed it."
Whew.
A garlic.
Disgusting.
That is brutal.
Oh, love it.
Brutal.
There you go. Hot off the airwaves from
That commentary hits like 2 proton torpedoes and a 3-meter exhaust port on a trench run of the Death Star. As London is red. London is red as Arsenal hang on to beat the North London rivals 3-2. What became a very nervy game at the end at Hotspur Stadium. 3-0 it was to Arsenal on the road at the half, looking like it could go more in front of a hostile Spurs crowd. Although Spurs really had the better possession, but
They played probably the better overall game. It was just, the scoreline was very weird, but anyways.
First half filled with goals going in one way, near misses, housery, and VAR decisions not going the other way. But in the second half, Tottenham certainly made a game of it as they hit the post, pegged 2 back, but it was ultimately not enough as they fell to their town rivals, officially making it St. Tottering's Day in London, which, I mean, that you can't ask for a better North London derby than that. Lads, overall thoughts on the classic of this North London derby?
It was odd. I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I went to the Spy Museum and the International Spy Museum in DC. I had an appointment. Awesome museum, by the way. But turned it on and I was, man, Tottenham are really holding it down, playing better. They pegged one, they scored one, called back for offside. It was a near miss off a corner by Christian Romero, who eventually got his in the second half. And then Arsenal put two in kind of quick. And they got one before half. It was like, what? Like, it was Arsenal didn't really feel in the game at all.
I
Like,
think at that
they
point
were in it.
they had like 30% possession at that point. It was
like
not,
they were in it, and like one goal came off a corner, and I think the other one came off a corner. And it was just weird. And then I don't know, like way later on the day, I checked the score and they had pegged them back, so I had to watch the highlights. But it definitely was an odd statistical game that usually is in reverse. Right, like sometimes Arsenal will have all that position, all that shots, and it might barely lose out. You look at like an Aston Villa game where a lot of those stats kind of lean towards Arsenal for majority of the game in terms of the possession, what they did, and the chances on goal, and that sort of thing. But in the end, they got it done, and it was a big win on the road against their North London rivals.
The odd momentum built off the own goal off Højbjerg in I don't know, around the 15th minute, right? And
that is an own goal is some icing on a St. Tottenham Day victory in a North London derby. I won't lie, it was a little icing on that cake.
Yep. And then they pegged one back, and then it was ruled off because he had given up the own goal and then had scored the other one.
Yeah, Havertz continuing to find good form. Yeah, I think you said it best when it was just kind of an odd game. 37% possession for Arsenal for the entire match.
Expected goals, 2.42 for Tottenham, 1.03 to Arsenal. Do those mean a lot? Who the hell knows?
I don't
Those
know.
stats are always weird. Man United's had a lot of expected goals, but they look like crap. It just doesn't make any sense. 15 shots to Tottenham to 9 for Arsenal. 4 big chances to Tottenham, 3 to Arsenal. So just kind of odd.
Well, I think what you're seeing there is that really good defense that Arsenal's had. I mean, they had a lot of shots and big chances, but I think that's probably your difference in the game, right? Right there is your defense on the back.
And we've said this a few times for different teams. Even though it was a disjointed kind of weirdly flowing match, Arsenal found a way to win and hang on. So that's what the good teams are going to do.
And we didn't cast Darth Maul, but I'll throw it out there for Ben White with some, as you said, classic housery, looking like he was screwing with his younger brother playing in the backyard, messing with the goalkeeper's mitt.
Well, it was, in fairness, it was both ways. I think Saka was getting a whole bunch of crap from the Tottenham fans 2 times on corner kicks. Each of the times they scored off of those corners.
Yeah, that dude, they showed on the news, was down there yelling and then just turned around and walked away. Yeah.
And then I didn't have too much of a problem with Ben White. He's becoming a villain as taking off of his manager in a way. Only problem I had is trying to take the goalie's glove off. And I think Tony Meola said it best on Counterattack the next morning, former U.S. goalkeeper. Somebody tried to do that to me, I'm putting a finger in their chest. I'm doing something that's showing them, you better back the F off of me, because listen, I could be pushed around, I could be stood in front of, I can be that sort of thing. But you start to take off my equipment, you and I are going to have words. And that's the only thing I didn't like from the housery. Messing and doing, that's one thing, but as soon as you start messing with a player's equipment like that, trying to take a glove off, I'm giving a bow to the chest. I'm turning around, I'm having words with them, and that really never happened, which was kind of weird to me.
To quote the great Ferris, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
God bless you, my friend.
I loved it. Because it looked like an older brother playing with the younger brother. And the thing is, the dude, he kind of let it work. He let it get in his head.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, you didn't teach Ben White a lesson. Let you know that you could.
Mm-hmm.
And in a North London derby, man, a little bit of mental one way or the other. It's like a boxing match out there. Like,
Sure.
it can go either way in those matches. It was
Sure.
a lot of fun. I mean, as we're gonna get to, Man City, they go to play Forest. Oh, and by the way, we should say I am actually super pleased with how Arsenal played because Tottenham had 15 days off from their previous match.
Which, in fairness, probably didn't help them a whole lot.
No, you know what's funny? If they'd have had a week off and Arsenal had those games lined up, when it was 15 days, I did have the thought of like college bowl games where there's this good team that their season ended like a month earlier and then they get stomped in their follow-up bowl game.
They cooled off.
Yeah, they cooled off. And I thought, man, maybe this 15 days plays in our favor. If it's 7 days, maybe it makes me a little more nervous. But 15 days, I wondered if well, and you kind of said it, Ron, like Arsenal weren't great, but they kept doing their thing, and so they won. I don't know, but that is, I mean, I know other tournaments and stuff but that is one of those you want to look at and be like, did that have to be that way? And not just because it's Arsenal. I mean, any club, like, I don't know, this late in the season. And then we go over to Man City, who plays Nottingham Forest, two games in 4 days. Man City edge past Nottingham Forest as Wood goes limp at a key moment to let the blue pill players of Man City get the win. They didn't play great. They just have who they have on their bench. I mean, like, was that the Holland sub in and he scored immediately? Was that in this way?
Yeah, I think so, because he scored in like the 71st. And they had just beaten, what was it, Brighton a few days earlier.
And Brighton, by the way,
or something.
What they just deflated.
We'll talk about them in a sec. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Nottingham played well enough to. I'm surprised they didn't get a goal in, but at the end of the day,
it's the machine this time of year, Man City, and I was surprised in a way that when Man City got knocked out of the Champions League, that you and Phil and our text were kind of happy, because I would have thought you guys would have wanted them to stay in the Champions League, have their attention divided towards something else, where now they can focus on just the Premier League and seeing that through to the end. Now that they have a game in hand, and if they just win out their games, they win. So that's not a guarantee by any stretch, but I would think they're only playing in the FA Cup final. That's at the end of the season, so they don't have to worry about that until after the season's over.
I think Phil was more excited than I was. That is my take. Agreed. I didn't really chime in on that. I was just like, well, look, any chance, no offense, Man City fans, I'm just tired of you. The light blue. And
fair.
So
fair.
On one hand, good, you're out of the Champions League. Let's see something different and interesting. It's funny, if Arsenal had advanced, I would rather Man City advance, because I think they've got a better shot at beating them than some of the other clubs they would have had to have faced.
Man City could have two places where they can drop points. One against Tottenham, which is possible, and the other is against West Ham.
You don't think Tottenham will just let Man City score 15 goals to overcome the goal differential?
Well, and remember, we talked about on a few pods ago, they haven't had the best luck at Tottenham.
No.
They only scored their first goal this year in an FA Cup or a some cup game.
They've struggled against
but
the top
I don't
six.
even think, and Ron, to your point, I don't even know if those are the games where they're going to drop.
Wait, what's the other one, though? You said Tottenham was the other one, Ron?
West
Ham.
I don't know if those are going to be the games they drop points. I could see them dropping points away to Fulham, possibly, and drawing that one. Fulham on a good run. Wolves, no easy competition to mull over. Blake, it's May the 4th be with you. Maybe you can get some force action going there. So it could be another game besides those two that we think. It could be. City this time of year, the odds on and how they're rolling through, but they've had such a weird year along with others that who knows?
It's so wild. These points, what are we sitting at right now? Apologies. I just had it up a second ago.
We're Arsenal are top on 80 points, but one game ahead of Man City. So Man City has a game in hand on 79 points, 7 goal difference there. And then Liverpool, and good segue as we talk them next, 35 games as well, played 75 points. So 5 points behind Arsenal at this point, and only on a 41 goal difference, sitting in third.
Yeah, Liverpool draws to West Ham 2-2. All tied up at 2-2 after Mikel Antonio's goal in the 77th. It all seemed to go weird for Liverpool. They had a potential goalie error, induced goal called off in a bizarre passage of play, and Salah didn't appear to be friendly with Klopp upon being subbed in with 10 minutes to go. City keeping pace with the game, and now we are talking about City, but Liverpool are now 5 points out. What do you make of the Salah and Klopp spat? But before even the Salah, I don't like some things happened at Liverpool that's just made that sucker like the bubble pop, which is odd to me because in some ways I wondered if like there was a reality where Liverpool was going to win the league and Arsenal be second. Could we end a season where City would have been in third, which we haven't seen? That would be wild, right? And now to like draw against West Ham's rough. They have not been good.
And West Ham on current form, not good.
No.
2 losses in a row. Tony and I were talking about at the Pride game tonight. He believes they're just exhausted. Playing on all 4 fronts, the amount of injuries they had, trying to do this for Klopp, exerting all this energy, and now there's players coming back, but they're coming back into the business end of the season and haven't played for a few weeks or a few months, and they're not caught up to speed and just not all gelling quite as good as it has been early on in the season. And absolutely, to a degree, I agree with that and think that the amount of injuries and just trying to play on all 4 fronts, the team's not entirely built for especially a new midfield. But in the end, they're dropping some points here that 2 in their last, they lost. Yes, it's a derby game, 2-0 on the road, but it's not like it's from a lack of chances. They're getting shots. They're getting chances. They had 23 shots in the derby match. However, only 3 big chances. And in this, they had 71% possession, 1.7 expected goals, which is over West Ham's 0.7, 28 shots total. So they're getting chances. They're getting the shots. It's just not happening for them at the moment.
The whole team is channeling their best Darwin Nunez.
Accurate.
So the rumors, and I'll just say that right off the top, this is rumor, but allegedly the spat was because, so you guys know how like when a player's getting ready to go on and sub, they always go, that player in Klopp always like at the sideline, he like gives them a hug, says good luck, gives them some strategy things, gives them a pat, and off they go. But when Mo Salah came on, he just basically went right to the spot, allegedly, played with his shin pads, and when Klopp put his hand out, to be like, hey, have a good time, Mo Salah just kind of offhandedly slapped his hand kind of in a lazy high five. Klopp didn't like that, so he was like, do you want to sit back down or do you want to go on? And that's what started the whole thing, allegedly. Seems rather simplistic to
and the other
60 on your star player.
Yeah, and the other thing that Tony said, I thought it was kind of being blown up a little bit too much. And to a degree, I also agree with them but it just happened. You're a big club. If this happened to a Bournemouth player and they're, we're not blowing this up, or we're not talking about it. But
it's also happened when you've just imploded your season in 2 games.
Well, yeah, but it happens when you have a big club like Liverpool. You have a big manager in Klopp who's leaving at the end of the season. You have your predominantly best player for the club in many years, leading goal scorer, captain, yada, yada, yada. and now this happens. You've dropped some points. There's just frustration in the air. They're both passionate at the things that they do. So it probably wasn't a whole lot of nothing. The next day, Salah came out and said, hey, I'm staying with the club next year. So you're not coming out and saying I'm staying with the club next year. Yeah, Klopp's not going to be there, but I don't think it's a dig at him. What also helped fuel it was Salah going to the press conference afterwards, or the mixture that they do, and saying, I don't want to comment now because I don't want to be fined.
No, what he said was, if I talk, there will be fire.
Right. Or fire, or something like that, right? So you could have just ended it and been like, hey, I just don't want to discuss it. It was between me and the manager. End of story. You're not having anything there. But to say it in that manner insinuates, well, if there's fire, there must have been a match. There must have been some sort of spark. What happened?
Yeah.
It only fuels the fire almost, more so by saying that.
No, that's a good point. It wouldn't have probably been as looked at if that hadn't happened after the match. Because people were like, oh, there's something up there? And then that happens. Everybody goes, oh, well, there is something up, obviously.
Right.
But you probably said it, though, Ferris. I mean, you got Man City has a ridiculous bench, even when they've had injuries. Arsenal has been very fortunate with injuries this year. And then Liverpool wasn't. So those are your top three. And that's probably your split as to why they're three right now. That's probably the single stat that covers most of it. Couldn't. But will he pull a Han Solo, leave, and then at some point return and then retire?
And then we got to figure out who is not Kylo Ren.
Yeah, who's Kylo Ren?
Who's
Kylo Ren going to come and knock him out? Yeah.
Is that going to be the new bald guy that's coming in to be manager?
Maybe that's who that is.
Amos or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
From is it?
No, Feyenoord maybe or something.
Feyenoord. That's it.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our 2-minute drill for the rest of the match week 35 action?
Let's get it.
All right.
Got to get zipping.
Ferris, you're up. I'm going to be tight on this.
All right. While I watched on with the Washington, D.C. Manchester United supporter group at Solace Outpost Brew Pub. Awesome. Within a spitting distance of the river and Audi Field. Awesome place. We all left blah, as United can only see out of 1-1 draw to Burnley. Well, but thank you, DC Reds, for your awesome and welcoming hospitality. Glory, Man United. I won't talk a lot about the game. It is what it is. It's a Man United game. We could talk Eric Ten Hag's quote about being the most exciting team in the Premier League, and to a degree, he's absolutely right for a neutral, not for a United fan. But just thank you, DC Reds. We did a scarf exchange, and gents, I sent you a couple of pictures. They have permanently in the tap room. They have flags and Man United banners. They also have, and I couldn't bring any back because they don't have a can, Red Devils DC Lager. That I found quite a few of those back with some of the supporters and got to know a few of them. Alfonso, shout out to you, my friend. We had an awesome chat. Very good dude, and we tried to meet up at the DC game that night. But the scarf is not your typical red and black. It is green and gold. Newton Heath style.
Oh wow! I mean, that looks like a Norwich colors almost, like
right. But that was Newton Heath. That was how Man United. That was original club, and it says Red Devils DC, and on the back it says official MUFC Supporters Club Washington DC.
Nice.
Ron, if Man United colors are still with green and yellow, the Brutal Game would have a very different logo.
Oh my god!
Because it matches really well. I'm looking at
it does
with both of them, right?
You're holding next to the Brutal Game scarf. I'm like, oh, that's way too close. That's way too close.
But shout out to them. I got kind of hooked up with them from our leader here of the Orlando Reds, Matt. He hooked me up with Sam. Sam unfortunately couldn't be there. He was attending a wedding, but just wanted to send his thanks, made sure I got a scarf. Apologize, the turnout wasn't all there, but it was an early game, cold kind of wet morning in DC. But Solace Brewing, you guys were awesome. Washington DC Reds, you guys were awesome, and I'll certainly be back to enjoy some more pints and watch another game with you.
Ron, it's just a little over 2 minutes, but Ferris was including his travels in it. Do you have any comment on the Man United game?
I mean, it's pretty much the same as the Chelsea game. So
Just hashtag Ten Hog out. Boy, that was flashing all over the media again, and he ain't there next year.
he's still got 3 or 4 games left.
I'm
They'll
gonna tell
keep
you
him
what.
at least till the end of the season and make a decision this summer, which is what they should do. There's no reason to act.
Hey, may he continue into next season.
Crystal Palace score late to keep their 3-game unbeaten run intact as both them and Fulham play out a 1-1 draw. Not really much to say about this match other than the job that Oliver Glasner's done, coming in for Grandpa Roy at Palace.
He's been great.
He's been great. Unbeaten in 4, 3 wins, and a draw in his last 4. They're on the official 40-point mark, and they are officially safe, which was the whole goal.
Oh, they play Man United next. Guaranteed they'll keep this streak rolling, baby.
Oh, 100%. It'd be a 2-0 win against United, baby.
Question
It'll
though
be like
is,
an Onana own goal and a Casemiro turnover, and 100%.
The only question is it actually anything he's doing, or is it the manager bump for the changeover?
A bit of both. He's been in the job now for more than these 4 games. It's not like he came in for these 4 games. So there's been a few losses there and stuff. I think what he's done is he's simplified it for him. Right? He's kept it tidy. He's kept it tight. They're sticking to formation. They're letting their makers play. They got some big boys up front. They're getting the ball to them, allowing them to do work. So he's keeping it simple, and he's keeping it kind. I want to say route 1 because they're not just huffing the ball up. They're playing a little bit of style. They're scoring off some free kicks and that sort of thing. But I certainly think he's had an impact in terms of what he's doing. Year 2, we'll see. Right? Maybe he wants to get a little creative. Maybe he wants to do this. Maybe he wants to do that. We'll see. But for right now, what he was brought in to do, he's certainly doing, and they're staying up once again.
Everton are officially safe unless they somehow get point deducted again. As a single goal beats bottom fighters Brentford, they win a 1-0 after having really messed up all the hopes for Liverpool. What a huge derby that was for them. I know we didn't get to talk too much about that, but enormous. Sean Dyche done it again. Ginger Mourinho, he is.
To have 8 points deducted and be officially safe with 3 games left.
That's a win.
That's not half bad there. That is not half bad.
I think the Premier League agrees with you because I think they did not want to see them get relegated because of point deductions.
Do you know who they would be? I don't want to say tied on points with, but they'd be right below Brighton at the moment if they had those 8 points back. So pretty well done there to Sean Dyche, and Everton once again survive much earlier than they have the past few seasons.
That's what a sad way to say. What a good improvement. You had 8 points deducted, and now you're saying, God, that's rough, man. That's really rough. I didn't think about it like that until you put it that way. That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle moved to within a point of 6th place Man United as they demolish Sheffield United 5-1, despite an early 5-minute goal from the Blades. With this loss, we bid farewell to Sheffield United in the Premier League once again as they become the first club officially relegated. Bye.
They gone. Dismal. Like we thought Burnley was dismal. Minus 63 goal difference, 16 points.
I think they're lucky they made it this long before officially.
Bad.
Yeah, before being officially relegated.
Exactly. You're right. With only 3 games left.
I thought
hell, we should have been relegated 10 games ago.
That's brutal. I mean, now look, the couple clubs above them ain't doing much better, but I mean, Burnley, I think they should be doing better. Luton, look, man, even if they don't survive this year at 25 points, they're within striking distance of Nottingham. They are they are punching way above their weight, right? I mean, to get up there and get promoted to the Premier League. So it's a very different story. Sheffield, Burnley, they've been here before. I mean, we had a couple years. Was Sheffield the club a couple years that Ron kept saying was going to get relegated and then didn't, and then he didn't pick them this year? And then,
No, that was Southampton.
that was Southampton. That's right.
Always Southampton.
Which I don't know. Southampton might be coming up. I think we'll see Ipswich first. Southampton might be in the playoff. I think Ipswich only needs one more point in the last few games.
Oh, yes.
And they're officially up.
But speaking of, and I'll throw this out now because you don't think you put this in the rest of Europe, but we have a winner for the championship, and that is Leicester coming back to the Premier League.
Well, I don't know if they're going to win. They should win it, but I think they're guaranteed to come up.
Sorry, they're guaranteed to come
promotion.
up. They don't have to play in, right?
Right.
Are they not winners at this point?
They lead the table, but they're not. They're not. They haven't been named champions yet. I don't believe. Because
first in the championship. Yep, I went there.
Because they're on 97 points.
They're champions
on 93, right? There's still a few more games to be played.
I need you to check in. If you type in Leicester in your Google, it pops up with fireworks and a big thing goes across the front saying champions.
Did they actually win?
Yes, yeah, that's what that happened this week. Yeah, with that last win.
Oh, there you go. Okay, with that last one, so that 4 points is that gap. Okay.
So that they are champions of the championship. They will come back just in time to get a 15-point deduction and be relegated the next year after whatever they just were accused of and whatever other crap is going on. Ron is going to come right back to the Brutal Games FPAR, PR, no fair play, foul play, whatever investigation for next season.
How you don't say.
Yeah, that's right. So I love that, like, there was all that controversy. Well, can you go after them if they're not in the Premier League? You're back now, baby. So get your lawyers ready.
Yep.
Speaking of relegation, Wolves do no favors to Luton as they beat them on the day 2-1 to keep Luton Town in the relegation zone, 18th place. So here's how your fight for relegation goes. Burnley on 24 points in 19th, Luton on 25 points in 18th, Nottingham on 26 and 17th. That is your relegation 3 headed into battle for survival, folks. So who you got surviving the drop now? Mind you, only one of those 3 you got to pick to stay up.
Like, I love Luton to do it for the pure, like, underdog, but I also really would hate to see Nottingham go purely because they got a point deduction. So I think
they could go and then be back up if they appeal.
Oh my God, that's right. They could be.
Yeah, we won't know till
Ferris. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't even answer this question. Doesn't matter which.
Sure, we can.
If the points stay as they are, Luton could live the week after. But if I had to pick one,
I'll give you mine.
I'd rather it be Nottingham and not have to get relegated because of a point deduction. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay.
I'll give you mine.
Go ahead.
Luton, Burnley, Sheffield all get relegated on the merit of the on-field antics. But then the appeal is not upheld, and so Forest and Luton switch places.
Okay. I'm going to say Luton stays up because they have 2 home games left, one against Everton, last day against Fulham, away game against West Ham. But those 2 home games are crucial. Sheffield United only has 1. I'm sorry, Nottingham only has 1, and it's against Sheffield, and then it's also against Burnley. That match could be huge. That last game, but they're only home once. Burnley play Newcastle, Tottenham, and then Nottingham Forest.
Tottenham will beat Man City and lose to them.
Probably.
That's the kind of crap that
you
would
have
happen.
Newcastle and Tottenham that are still fighting for European places. And Burnley's only at home against Newcastle, which is this coming Saturday. So, woof. So I'll go with Luton. We all get kits. Hit that beautiful sound.
All righty. Speaking of clubs, we've loved to see come back in the Premier League. Bournemouth, man, from a club that we wondered if will they get relegated this year, they move up to 10th in the table as Brighton have fallen from grace down to 12th, courtesy of the Cherries putting up 3 on them while keeping the Seagull off the score sheet. We blinked, and Brighton are now in the bottom half of the table, and I would say, conversely, Bournemouth in the top half.
Hey, they're solid in 10th, baby. Top
Yeah.
half of the table. Well done, Cherries, so far.
But it didn't look like it was going to start that way. What? They were the first to fire a manager, right?
I think right before the season start, right?
No,
So I don't know if it officially counts in the season.
No, during like a few weeks
I thought
in,
it was right before the season start. If it was like real, like first game or something. But I could have sworn it was right before the season started. Anyways, while you guys look that up, I mean, what Brighton have they've had some injuries too, but they've absolutely fallen off of grace all the way down in 12th. Not good. I mean, they're winless in their last 5, 3 losses and 2 draws.
Dang it.
Drew against Brentford, lost against Arsenal.
Ron, did we
Drew against Burnley, lost against Manchester City, and lost here against Bournemouth.
Ron, did we just merge our years? They fired their manager, Scott Parker, August 30th, 2022.
But they fired Gary O'Neill.
After he kept them in the Premier League.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But that was over the summer, just before the season started.
Yeah, I think Ferris is indeed correct.
Wow.
June.
But in both of those firings, in both instances, we're all like, is this the right move?
Right.
Like, because
Clearly it was.
Evidently.
What a wild run of it that the ye old Cherries have had. But Brighton, I mean, I think to me that might be one of the bigger shockers of the year for me is their collapse.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Well, half their front office and half their bench are sitting at Chelsea right now. So,
what is Graham?
But that
Potter
wouldn't have
doing?
helped them. I mean, hell, Chelsea's only in 9th. It's not like they're only 3 places above them.
yeah, but Brighton was playing better than the sum of their parts.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like there was just something going on at Brighton that was clicking for everybody, and then they started getting picked apart, and slowly they just start, kind of breaking down.
You think once a week Graham Potter just cracks a beer alone, and it's like, why did I take that Chelsea gig? And then he hops in his Aston Martin and goes, "Oh, that was right. That's why.
Sure,
That's
sure.
why."
Sure.
I told you guys.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Ron?
I mean, I told you guys on more than one pod. If you're Potter, why would you take this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Go from Brighton, who's firing on all thrusters, punching above their weights, to a gigantic dumpster fire, where you aged 12 years in half a season.
Well, I think it'll get proved into next season. I think you'll keep Pochettino because I don't. We always say who are you going to get? But I think in this situation, literally, who's going to go there as opposed to who are you going to get?
I mean, I think you have bigger problems than who you're going to get, right? You have more financial fair play problems.
Wow.
If you're going to fire him. You're still paying your previous manager.
Yeah, that's what
2 managers, right? If I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
Are you paying the previous 2 managers?
So never mind
No,
what
just-
I said. Graham Potter's.
You're still not paying.
Yeah.
You're still not paying Frank Lampard. You sure about that?
No, because
Yeah.
that was just a yeah.
Dang. Okay.
That was an interim contract for just a short amount of time that was specifically agreed upon.
They're
How
giving
about
him
the manager before that.
They're giving him a discount on the rent for Frank's hot dog place or whatever you found. What was the?
It was a pretty good grill.
Yeah.
Like Frankie's or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that'll take us over to the tale of two halves on the score sheet as Chelsea halt Aston Villa's win streak in the second half with 2 goals of their own. 2-2 ends on the day. Are Villa going to see a 4th place come the end of the season? Yes.
I think they hang on to it. Yeah.
I was calling it. I won't lose it. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I don't think Tottenham with their run, the matches they have left, needing Villa to screw up a lot and them to win out, it's tough. Now, can I say?
I think if
hope-
Aston Villa win this next game, they're automatically secured for top 4.
Well, look here, Spurs fans. I hope genuinely the Spurs make it into 4th place. Because if they do, that means they won out on the rest of it. And I will gladly take the Spurs back in the Champions League if they can win out the rest of their matches. So yeah, go Spurs, beat Villa, top Villa.
Ron,
there.
record that, take that. We will. You have never once heard me say "Go DL team." You just said "Go Spurs."
You go get fourth place, buddy. Yeah, you go. Yeah, take it.
I mean, there's 7 spots between. Tottenham's not in their last 5 matches, 2 losses, 2 wins, and a draw. They're inconsistent at best. Villa still firing, still trying to push forward. There's a heart at Villa that there lacks at Tottenham. People have figured out, Postecoglou ball, and so it's harder for the Spurs to, come back and play hard against quality teams. So,
and Villa just need a win in these next 3 games, and they're secure for top 4.
So I expect Villa to do it. The Chelsea match, I mean, you guys will notice that Jackson is not on the score sheet.
He's mentioned it in an interview recently. He was like, "Yeah, I don't score a lot." Did you see that?
Good for him.
I mean,
listen. Honesty is the best policy here, lad. I think Ron, though, what I was is like, you're with me. You just kind of want the season to end. We just need to get to the summer, and maybe we have somewhat high irrational hopes for next season.
I have about the same hope for this season as next season, because we are straddling the PSR.
Listen, you'll get Lukaku back. Your injuries will be better. You'll have a whole new team back from injuries. You guys will be fine.
I don't know that for certain.
I totally forgot about that. When
he's only on loan. He's only on loan.
Ron, did you share that Lukaku? Whoever shared that?
I think it was me on one earlier. Yeah,
Lukaku's coming back. Like, oh my god, I forgot about that. I mean, the truth is, I mean, you're right. That what do you between financial fair play? That's a whole mess. There's a lot of dust I think's got to settle in at first. I don't even know, beginning of the season, or is it going to be over the summer? Who knows when they're going to look at that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I saw this really cool cartoon drawn by a Chelsea fan. The Edgar Allan Poe story of was it Mask of the Red Death, where Fortunato is kind of wasted.
Cask of Amontillado.
I'm sorry. The Fortunato's kind of wasted. He gets led down into the basement. He's walled up in the in the basement, and I feel the meme was essentially Chelsea being walled up by Todd Bowley and his choices for for different players that he ended up panic buying because he had to be the person to go make all these contracts and do all these things when he first bought Chelsea.
See, man, we don't just do Star Wars references. We got literary references up in this piece too, y'all.
Some EA Poe action. But, to be honest, I'm not much more excited about next season than I am the end of this one, because there's not going to be that much turnover. And I see all this stuff like on the internet and all the socials today. It was Chelsea are in internal talks about wanting Jack Grealish. And I think to myself,
what article were you reading?
I'm like, are you high? Jack Grealish is going to step from the Eiffel Tower that is Man City into the guttery pan that is Chelsea?
Yes, because you want to know why? He's already won the treble. He's already won Premier Leagues. He'll get paid for the next 10 years easy on a 10-year deal. And get to party in like a posh part of London every night, shirtless.
Shirtless?
That's an instant win, baby.
We can't afford him anyway.
Heck
like
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
so-
you'll be able to afford him when Mudryk goes on loan to Brighton.
Or when you give Cole Palmer back to the city and just like this weird, like, you give Cole Palmer back, we'll take Jack. Oh, sure. And he just comes there. He's drunk every day at practice. He's like your Jamie Vart Tart type character. He just shirtless. He's going on these on these love connection shows, and he just is like, I'm getting paid for 10 years, baby. I signed a 10-year deal. Thanks, Mr. Bowley.
Well, that, I think, gets us to the half. And we do not have Ron carrying us into Ron's beer news, but Ferris, you hit on it a little bit concerning your beer and the Man United match, but give us some of your vacation updates, my dude.
Had to crack my second right proper brewing, raised by wolves. Listen, DC, if you ever get a chance to go, super fun. Especially if you stay in the area, you could scooter around everywhere. You can take the metro. One of the coolest things I did, driving to meet the DC supporters. I didn't drive. I took a scooter. It was about a 40-minute scooter ride. But you know what? Driving past Pennsylvania Avenue, looking down at the Capitol, driving past the Washington Monument, past the White House, and this just brisk little rainy morning in DC was awesome. Got there, just shared some beers, as I called it out earlier. Just a great supporter group there in DC. Night before that, went to Audi Field to see our Pride take on the Spirit. Hell of a match. A very good win on the road by the Pride. Barbara Banda got her first goal in that goal. Oh, goal and assist. A lovely assist. And that assist was right in the corner that I was at. Just a lovely assist. And it DC supports the Spirit very, very well. About 11,000 on hand for that for riding match. You go there, they basically turn the stadium into that with stand-ups and whatnot. They have pop-up tents for all of their merch. Man, they got some slick merch for the Spirit. Very, very slick merch. Just black out the oh hell, what's the flower that I can't the blossom flower there right
cherry
now.
blossom.
Yeah, cherry blossom flower. Merch, just really, really cool. Good crowd there. Chilly night, windy night, but very good vibe there from the entire for the entire crowd. There's only a few of us Pride supporters there, but happy to walk away with all 3 points. Shout out to Haley Carter, our GM. She's not just the GM; she's one of the brightest, smartest, hard-working. I don't even know if GM's the right title. I'm sorry. It might be supreme leader of all things women's soccer. She's just awesome. She was helping pull over bags and coolers at the end of the game. Saw us. If you've never been to the to Audi Field, the tunnel's kind of at behind the goal. And it drops down. So like here at Orlando City, we walk around and you look down at the field. It's below. There, you walk around the concourse and you're level with the field.
Oh, that's cool.
So their tunnel kind of goes down and under you. So they have to kind of walk down the tunnel. And Haley was pulling a cooler to get it back, because they're obviously on the road and they're taking a lot of stuff. And she sees us Pride fans, kind of looks at them, and kind of shocked, like, oh yeah, cool. Stops, comes around, and is chatting with us a bit. And then one of the goal scorers tonight, Ali Watt, comes around and chats with us a bit and thanks us. Around about 4 or 5, about 6 of us or so. And they just appreciate us being there. We were cheering them on as they came down the tunnel because it wasn't that far from it, and Seb and all the players gave us a clap, and we're just very, very, very appreciative. But the Spirit do a very good job. They also won tonight, same as the Pride. Pride won 4-1 against a good North Carolina team.
I think that's our
another
first win against them, isn't it?
In a while. It might be. It might be because we usually don't do very well against them. 2 goals from Banda and an assist, a goal and an assist by Ali White. Julie Doyle gets on the score sheet.
And those 2 up front are just killer.
They're lethal right now. Yeah, they're having a good partnership going.
The service that the two send to each other is incredible.
Yep. And Spirit 4-2 on the night tonight against the Red Stars. So it was a really good match. Like I said, ended 3-2 against some two good teams, some good football play. The next day, went back to see DC United and Seattle Sounders. Seattle Sounders got on the board first, but Benteke, a penalty and a lovely headed goal, and it was 2-1 at half, and that's how it ended. Stephen Fry got sent off for Seattle to cause that pen to make it 1-1, and then they went, like I said, they went on 2-1 at the end of the half. Another great support by the DC fans there, very, very similar to what we experience here in Orlando. Their supporter section, you know how ours, you basically have 4 different sections of standing supporter. There, if you were to take our center two, is basically all that they have before it breaks off into like a club office type building. But a very cool stadium, very open air. You can walk around, very, very open. A lot of good fun activities going on there. DC United has a hell of a store, very sharp there. Their hat selection looks like LeBron James's hat collection in his closet, just lights, and it looks sweet. But Audi Field, if you get a chance to ever go to those games, absolutely do. Spirit or DC United, a lot of fun, good crowd, right down by the Navy Yard along the river next to the Washington National Stadium. So some very good footy there. Breweries, very good brewery scene there as well. I went to about 5 different ones. I shared one tonight with the right proper. I'll share another one here probably on the next pod. So I won't go into details of that. Went to a few others though that were just chill and awesome. You know, each one that I kind of hit up. Solace Outpost, you know, one that I named here as well, that I got a chance to go and was there for quite a bit because of the supporter group as well. But one of the other ones I went to, I'm just trying to make sure I get the exact name correct. But it was Atlas Brewworks. I went before the Pride game. They had a buy one of their original pints and get 2 slices of pizza. The pizza was good, man, for like $11. I put one of those on Untapped. They have a few different tap rooms. They have it on the main drag going to the Nationals Stadium there. A lot of good beer options. A lot of good beer options and good vibe there. Kind of open. And the other one was I'm sorry, I'll have to kind of get back to that one, but that one was a lot of fun because it's based out of a 120-year-old factory that used to be a Nabisco factory. Yes, the cookie. Sorry, Lost Generation Brewing. It pays homage to the hub of artists from the 20s and 30s and invites modern-day community to come together over a cold one. Owners Jared Pullman and Ann Clough, husband and wife, have created a space and beer with love and attention to anyone and everyone. Sit in a 120-year-old factory near Ivory City. They specifically do lagers and IPAs, and both were fantastic. Good vibe. They had a Sunday night trivia when I stopped by. But yeah, it was an old Nabisco factory, and everybody that does their can arts is actually a graphic artist company based out of that same warehouse and that same factory, and where they're doing the graphics for their can art and a lot of things around DC is actually where the horse stables were.
Oh, that's
120 years ago, to get cookies and crackers, they didn't have cars and trucks. They had horses and carriages.
Yeah.
So kind of a cool history there. Lost Generation brewery. Awesome. You can find them at Lost Gen Brewing on Instagram. So really cool soccer scene, beer scene there. If you ever get a chance to go to DC, besides all of the obviously very historical stuff there, got to see the Declaration of Independence and Constitution and Bill of Rights, all those. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. Whatever. Just some old documents sitting there, right?
Some old papers just laying around.
Yeah, whatever. No, but if you ever get a chance, absolutely go. Went to 2 Triple D spots. If you don't know what that is, Diner, Drive-In, and Dies, old Guy Fieri. The Carving Room had one of the best sandwiches, a pastrami poblano sandwich. My God, that sandwich was fantastic. No wonder Guy Fieri had it on his spot. So
nice.
If you ever get a chance to go to DC or any city across the great U.S., always look at the breweries in the area. Always look at maybe those diners and those drives and dives, because what Guy Fieri does and what breweries do is highlight the area, highlight the community, highlight the atmosphere.
Ferris, you have a habit of taking my kind of vacations where you just like hop and go. I'm just going to plug in. I'll meet some people at the Man United Fan Supporters Club. I'll go do that. Like, I love that, man.
Yep.
Love it.
And they'll end it with this. Me and Alfredo, the main United supporter, his son had a tournament on Sunday, so we couldn't stay out too late. But we were talking back and forth, and he was, oh yeah, you got to go get hit here and this, and I'm down to Florida every now and again, so we change phone numbers. But throughout the conversation, as we're just talking about life and travel and kind of what you're talking about there, Blake, he had said something that I love. He goes, sometimes one thing I like when I go somewhere is just get lost.
Oh,
just get lost and just figure it out.
Hey man, not all who wander are lost.
Because you just meet some of the coolest people, places. You run into things that just take you down unexpected turns and nights. So, Alfredo, it was a pleasure, my friend. Washington, D.C. supporters, you guys rock, and thank you.
I mean, that's the advice the best advice about traveling. I mean, I did that for Scotland, and I had a plane ticket in, and I have a plane ticket out. Past that, I had nothing.
I knew that I took a trip to Scotland alone as well, and I knew I wanted to check out the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I wanted to see Stirling Field and the William Wallace Monument. Those are the only 2 things that were musts, and I just let whatever else be.
Yep.
Like, oh man. In fact,
all of the best stories of, my crazy travels all those stories happen between the things I planned.
Yeah.
Well, now, gents,
get lost.
Look, phase 2 of the Brutal Game, I think, is the Thirsty Traveler. Is that phase 2?
I love it. Yeah.
I think we keep threatening to make a coffee book with like beers of the Premier League and stuff. So I think we should do that. I think. God, the Thirsty Traveler. We're gonna look that up. If that doesn't exist, we're just gonna secure that name real fast.
Trademark
and just put
it
in a basket somewhere. Hold on to it. Oh man. Well, that takes us out of halftime. And I mean, we hand the mic right back over to Mr. Ferris as we go to the La Liga's Roundup.
Who doesn't like McDonald's French fries? God knows I do. And so does PSG, baby! Whatever. They win their, what did I say it was? I put it here in the content.
The McDonald's.
They win their 12th.
French Fry League.
The McDonald's for French Fry League, yeah. French Fry League. They win their 12th French league title with three match weeks remaining, with 12 points clear on 70 points above second place Monaco, despite their draw this weekend against who did they play?
We literally lost every French fan we might have had.
Yeah. Well, congrats to PSG. You can get yourself a nice big Happy Meal now.
Wouldn't you have liked to be sitting in some outdoor alfresco cafes? I guess that's an Italian word. They're going to do the French word. But like in France, in Paris, when that announcement comes out that McDonald's is going to sponsor Ligue 1, they were like, oh, no. This is not good.
Royale and cheese.
Like, no. They
love it.
What is it officially called?
I don't know what it's called now.
It's
I
not
don't know. I thought it already went into effect, but it may not be. It's just the French Liga. The title for it is if it's the McDonald's, if it's the Uber Eats, who the hell knows?
It was
But
the Uber Eats League. I'm sorry, that's
it was.
what it was.
And it's going to be McDonald's. Definitely going to next year. So they're almost always going to make the Ligas Roundup just for puns and jokes on it being called a McDonald's League. Period.
Yeah.
Who gives a who the hell wins in that league?
I mean,
Maybe
look,
TSG does. They're not going to have Mbappe anymore, so they're going to be any much. Who cares? Anyways, moving over to a very fun league in a league that matters. The Bundesliga. Sorry, French. We lost all of our French league supporters.
From the Nugget League to the Schwarzbier League.
Right. Not a big update here because Leverkusen, as we updated you on the pod a few months ago, their levels ahead. They already won. However, if you remember, they still have their unbeaten streak across all competitions.
I love
25. Yeah,
keeping it so intense right now.
they have they're 25 wins, 6 draws, 0 losses in the Bundesliga. Once again, in the 90+6, which is kind of contentious. I think it was only like 90+4 allowed or something like that, or 90+5. They score a goal to tie it up 2-2 against third place VfB Stuttgart. Gentlemen, that is their 13th time this season that Bayern Leverkusen has scored after the 90th minute mark to either win or draw. That does not include 87-minute goals, 88-minute goals, 89th. Only goals from the 90th minute and beyond. 13 times in the league this season.
When you order your VHS narrated by John Madden to look back at the entire season, that's that right there. Stat is what they're going to talk about. I mean, like, that's kind of the story of the season, like undefeated, but how they did it, the cardiac arrest version of it,
Yep. And they have some pretty difficult matches with 3 left, so they should be able to do it. But I believe they play 6. Am I right in saying that? They play 6th place. Eintracht Frankfurt this week. So
I played for Bayern Leverkusen
for
a really long time when I got drafted in FIFA 2017, long time ago. I don't know. Like, I swear when I got pulled in, got signed by them, and my little dude played for Leverkusen for quite a while.
But the Bundesliga kind of rolls us into the first leg of the semifinals in UEFA, the Champions League. As today, we'll start off with the day. We'll kind of reverse backwards. Borussia Dortmund 1-0 over PSG. And if you have not seen the Fulkrug goal yet, let's go and watch it. It is a app and he's not like a small number 9. Like he's a stocky lad. What a touch! What a strike! 1-0 in the 36th, just before half. And
Fulkrug.
Yes, that goal is awesome. Yes, it was
first touch from that gigantic sky ball pass is absolutely perfect.
Sublime.
I'm going to pull it up right now because I did not get to catch that match.
Oh, man, it is absolutely from Bayern. And from a center back played that ball to him, Nico Schlotterbach. But yes, they were at Dortmund, so they had that support from the yellow wall. And if you guys didn't see it, the day before the CBS commentary, Jamie Carragher and oh god, why did I just forget his name? The goalie used to play for Man United. Not Kasper Schmeichel. Yes, right? Or was that his son's name?
Oh, Kasper Schmeichel, right? In this?
Yeah, that's Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. They were talking back and forth, and Jamie Carragher was like, "We got to go to the yellow wall and sing Never Walk Alone." And Schmeichel's like, "I'll go to the yellow wall with you, but I ain't never singing that song." I was like, "Yes, a Man United boy." But nonetheless, they were in the yellow wall pregame dancing along with the fans, and Jamie Carragher was singing "They Never Walk Alone" because it is something that Dortmund and the yellow wall there that day. And God, I hope I get a chance to be in that yellow wall. I will bounce, I will sway, but just like Schmeichel, I will never sing that song. But just the first leg, Dortmund. Remember, there's no away goal rule, so it's still anybody's game going back to Paris in what possibly could be Kylian Mbappe's last Champions League game for PSG. Day before that, though, we had a really fun match and 2 titans of European football going at it as Bayern Munich and Real Madrid played to a 2-2 draw. The Sinius a brace in this. The same way. If you have not seen that ball by Tony Kroos, absolutely world class. What a ball. Just threaded the needle past like 3 or 4 players from almost midfield to an on-running Vicinius, and he slotted it home. Cool as you like. And then later, on a Rodrigo drawn pen, he slotted that home for that pen. Sane got on the goal sheet in this, and as did Kane, and he buried another penny. Again, he's probably England's best penalty taker. He's quality. But a 2-2 draw there. A lot of fun. Good match to watch. It was at Bayern, so it was at the Allianz, so they have to go away to Madrid. Again, exactly. No away goals. So if it ends, say it just ends 0-0, we're going to extra time. If they each score a goal in it and it's 1-1, we go to extra time. But if anybody wins out in the next game, that's who advances. Those games, I believe, will be next week, and it'll be the second leg of those 2 semifinal games of the champions. And you know what it could set us up for? Kind of a footnote here. If Bayern win and Dortmund had, we could have an all-Germany Champions League final.
Yep.
How cool would that be?
That'd be pretty rad.
And the Harry Kane curse would see Dortmund win the championship.
I do have to say that I think if it goes to Bayern and Dortmund, I would put money on Dortmund, I think.
And another footnote. Guess where that game's being played, gents?
I don't know.
Wembley.
Oh, right.
Oh. And this isn't a Harry Kane knock or anything. I feel like Dortmund's had a better season. Although, oh God, why did I just forget his name? The Bayern manager right now, Tuchel. It would be just like Tuchel to win the Champions League and then get fired.
Stayed right, yeah.
And I mean, that would be, typecasting.
Yeah, and real quick before we end the La Liga's roundup.
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't so easy now, was it?
No.
I switched the colors the other day and it screwed my head up. Yeah.
Real quick before we end, Xavi at Barcelona did an about face, and he will return as Barcelona manager.
Weird,
next season.
right?
Yeah.
What, I mean,
odd.
I don't want to get
Where else was he really?
but why?
Bit odd.
I don't. That was.
It just seemed like some pressure, not happy, not really knowing. Maybe he didn't have some securities on some things. Maybe it was a reactionary, and then he thought about it more and go, you know what? I do actually like this gig. Who the hell knows?
He could have been Chelsea's next manager.
Exactly. He used it as a bargaining chip to get what he wants from the front office, and then he went back.
Yeah,
there you go.
You can do that once, I think.
Exactly. And that has been your La Liga's roundup.
All right, gentlemen, for our beer mentions of the pod, I had from New England Brewery the Imperial Stout Trooper, which was fan-friggin-tastic.
I had Right Proper Brewing in Washington, D.C., especially the Shaw Brew Pub. Raised by Wolves, dry hopped pale ale. I'm on my second and enjoying it in a lovely citrus Orlando Pride koozie. Go Pride.
And for all of the fly fishermen that listen to our pod, I have Kettle Beer Works Roll Cast Kolsch Style Ale. Perfect for having a beer in the middle of the river while you're doing some fly fishing.
And watching some soccer on your iPhone at the same time or something.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that our cross? Is our cross pollination of listeners?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. All right, Ferris, you got his Latan quote?
I do not. I'm going to leave us with the Alfonso, DC Man United supporter of if you're traveling, get lost.
I was hoping you were going to do that. Follow us on the socials. Just look for The Brutal Game, especially on the Untapped. If you could go to the website, brutalgame.com, you'll leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher of choice. Let us know. Get a screen grab. Get it to us. Tell your grandmas. Tell your fly fishing uncles. We'll get the whole crew in watching. Gentlemen, it's May the 4th coming up. Got some questions for you.
Oh, I love it. Hit us.
What do you call a nervous Jedi? Panic in Skywalker.
Ooh, good one. I like that.
Well, didn't see that one coming.
What is Han Solo? No, wait. I'm gonna hold on that one. I think that's a good Ferris one.
Okay.
What is R2D2 so short for?
I don't know.
Because he has little legs. What do you call an invisible droid?
No droid.
See-through PO. What's the internal temperature of a tauntaun? You know what I'm talking about? Little thing Luke rode.
Cuts it open, hides inside.
The internal temperature is lukewarm.
Ah,
That's a good one, right?
Well done.
But here's the last one, just for Ferris. What is Han Solo's favorite rapper?
I'm going to love this one already. I don't know.
Tupac.
Yes.
Oh, I knew when I found that one, that would be the winner.
Well done.
Well, ladies and jelly spoons, thank you for listening to The Brutiful Game. Here we go. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brutiful Game.